If life is such a dream, then you know I'm living lucid. You gotta be like water, so you know I'm living fluid. If I talk about it, then you know that I'ma do it. And if I get a shot, then you know that I'ma shoot it. And if I'm gonna fall, I don't really need a cushion. If love, peace, and hope is really what I'm pushing, you gotta trust the process and surrender to the flow. Sunlight and water's all you really need to grow. I really live this shit, I don't do it off a show. Sunbathing, getting energy through my fro. Look at the bigger picture when you looking at your life. No such thing as wrong, no such thing as right. Wow. What a way to start something new under the sun. Welcome back. Episode 4 of Something New Under the Sun. It's your boy, Sunrise the Divine. Don't mind this mess. Don't mind this. I found this game. It's the Illuminati game. It's crazy. I'm looking at the cards. I seen the game online and I seen some of the cards. I'm like, there's no way they made it into a board game. It's official, guys. They made it into a board game. We got the Pentagon blowing up. We got Antifa, vloggers. All of the conspiracies is now packaged up in a nice family-friendly game. And look, they got, if you're in the Matrix, you need some money. You got the money. So, I didn't buy this game for all the people that's going to see this in 5 years when I'm super rich and famous. And they're like, see, Sunrise was in the Illuminati. He was playing the game. I told you. I didn't buy it. I just tried it. Okay, y'all. Something new under the sun. Y'all know what it is. It's your podcast where we're bringing you new philosophies, ideas, way of life, or anything outside of the mainstream way of living, and we're tapping in with it. We're discussing it. You know what I mean? Hold on, I didn't finish putting up the game, but yeah. So we're bringing up a lot of these topics that aren't really usually talked about in the mainstream society. And as you've seen, we had a beautiful opener with my brother, my family. Mi hermano, Jerome Shaw. Blessings. Oh, you're going to have to speak a little closer than that.
Okay, blessings.
Yes.
Thank you for the invite. Thank you for this beautiful invitation, this conversation, this vibration, this meditation, this medication,
Yes,
this relaxation. Yes. I love it.
Oh, man, thank you. And first things first, before we even get started, tell the people the name of your flute.
Okay, so this is a shakuhachi here.
Shakuhachi. We're going to have the word pop up.
Okay, cool.
Shakuhachi, yes.
Yeah, this is a shakuhachi.
How long have you been playing the shakuhachi?
This one since 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when I got it from Master Yoshi. Mr. Yoshi, he's over there in the Japanese village in Little Tokyo. So that's where I got. He fixes them up. He plays them himself. And he also makes other Japanese instruments like kotos and stuff.
Oh, okay. That's not Goku Trainer? You said Master Yoshi. Oh, okay.
Master Yoshi, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, Yoshi. I was just making sure.
Shout out to Yoshi.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know he was right around in Japantown. You know what I mean? Little Tokyo.
Yeah, you Little Tokyo.
Oh,
right
man.
over there.
So first off, tell the people, who are you? I know I introduced you. You're Jerome Shaw. I know who you are, but tell the people, who are you?
Definitely, a seeker. I feel like I am, I guess, in these times, you could call it like a digital nomad, a traveler, and just a motivational speaker, a podcaster, but also an author. So, yeah, I just enjoy having conversations with like-minded.
We got the pups in here.
Yeah, we got the pups in the house.
So you enjoy conversations.
Oh, it's that Apollo Creed up in the building. Right. Ding, 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 ding.
So hold on, Jerome, you said you're a podcaster. You have your own podcast.
I do.
What's your podcast called?
My podcast is called The Open Palm.
The Open Palm. Okay. Yeah. I knew what it was called. Yeah. I just wanted to ask so y'all would know. I was on this podcast once before. Jerome, you definitely got to tap into Jerome's podcast. You got to tap into his YouTube. Like, your voice, bro, is amazing.
Man.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like, your voice, like, I want your voice to be in my children's, like, nursery rhymes. I want your voice to be in, like ambiance music in, like, just random scenes throughout the lunch day. You know what I mean? Like, your voice is so amazing. So y'all need to go check out Jerome's podcast. It's amazing.
Blessings.
Thank you. What I wanted to talk to you about today is the something new under the sun today. And this isn't even really ancient. It's a practice that you have practiced. It's a practice that I and many people have. I want to talk about fasting and the liquid journey, right? So for those of you who are new to my realm, new to this podcast, or Jerome's realm of reality, we practice fasting a lot, and a lot of people in the world, in the country, practice fasting. Fasting is taking a certain amount of time and either not eating food at all, only drinking liquids, or sometimes people fast where they don't eat or drink at all. As you got the most known one around the world is probably like when Muslims fast for Ramadan, 30 days they don't eat or drink while the sun is up, and they only have their meals when the sun is down. So that's just a quick breakdown on fasting if you didn't know. But Jerome, tell me how you got in. Tell me, when did you first hear about this? When did you first hear about fasting?
So back in 2019, coming from, there was a certain amount of pain that I came from and heartache from this relationship that left me feeling very unfulfilled, very dissatisfied with the way that my life was going at the time. And as you know, they say people usually make profound changes due to inspiration or desperation.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a mixture of the two. And I'm thankful and grateful now, connecting the dots looking back, like Steve Jobs always said, we never really usually connect them looking forward, but when in hindsight is always 2020.
Right.
So I was able to see the connections to where it led me to actually a group of Burmese monks and nuns at a meditation seminar. So I just went up on meetup.com.
Okay.
And it was like, okay, teaching meditation somewhere down the street. And it was a seminar that they put on. I went over there. They taught me about suffering, mindfulness, detachment, impermanent nature, all those things. And then they invited me to come stay at their center.
Okay.
They said, you can come meditate here. You can lay down right here. You can eat anything you want to out of here. The place is yours.
Like stay, do you mean like extended stay or like?
Yeah,
extended. They was just like, just come stay.
They didn't ask me for anything. Of course, they take donations and people help them out in so many different ways.
Yeah.
But they just melted me, bro. Because the love that they were showing, what I felt like we were complete strangers.
Yeah.
My own family hadn't shown me that kind of love. So that intrigued me to help them out further. And then when I had a conversation with one of the nuns, she mentioned to me just by chance that their chief monk, Sayadaw, of the Barwa, he was actually on a liquid journey for 2 years at the time.
2 years liquid.
So for 2 years at the time, back in 2019, he had not ingested any solid food.
Sheesh.
So I was inspired. I was like, what? Like for 28 years of my life, I'd never heard of anybody. I heard of fasting. Right. It's in every major religion. We know fasting. Right. But when it came to a lifestyle, like this is how you live. This is how you breathe. This is how you move. It just really intrigued me, piqued my curiosity to a level where I was like, okay, I need to know more about this. So I started to do more research, and then that led me down the path to find out, okay, let's take a solid food vacation. And at first, it was only going to be 1 month. It ended up being 3 months.
Ooh, 90 days.
90 days.
90 days, no food.
No food.
No food, just liquids.
Right.
All right, y'all hear that? 90 days. So look, we know it's possible. One, we know it's possible because Jerome is right here. I'm right here. I've also done 90 days liquid. I've done 90 days liquid. Yeah, we did 90 day 90 day club, y'all. New challenge. Get you that 90. Listen, I'm just playing. We're not making it a competition. No. But okay, so it went from 1 month to 90 days.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were feeling good.
Oh my god.
Because you tripled the amount of time.
Bro, I didn't see. This is the thing. I almost was afraid to go back to eating because of all the energy, the focus, the clarity. I'm talking less brain fog, more direction, more purpose, more passion, more of everything. And it was only because of less this. I had more that. You know, it was the whole less is more dynamic where we hear these cliches and we hear these quotations.
Yeah.
But do we really put it into practice? Do we truly believe or know that it's possible? That we could find out on that level when you start to trust your body, you trust the universe, you trust whatever it is that is, you know, orchestrating these things.
Right.
You start to see manifestation on another level.
Wow. Okay. So can we just take a breath real quick?
Of course.
Okay, let's take a deep breath in through the nose, out of the mouth. We're going to do it as a tribe. In 3, 2, 1. Wow. It's incredible. Because when we started the breath, we were 2. And then when we finished the breath, we were 3. We got my man Energy. He just made it here.
Yo.
What's
I'm
up,
happy
man?
To be here. I'm happy to be here once again.
Did you it's crazy. The people don't know that you literally just walked in from outside at the exact moment we exhaled.
I really
we
did.
just hit a reset. Like
really
he just
did.
got here. And so
My timing.
Your timing is divine.
Impeccable.
Impeccable.
You know? My family may call it late. They call it by different names, you know. But there's not enough value to the people who show up quote unquote late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you always hear the pros of showing up on time or even the pros of showing up really early.
Yeah.
Yes. But you never hear about, thank God I was late to that thing because there was a shootout. If I was early,
Right.
I probably would have been one of the ones that shot, you know. Thank God I was late. You know what happened over there? A car crash. 15 cars got in a wreck. I was late and I missed it.
Yeah.
And I made it here safe and sound.
Right.
You know, so sometimes being late is right on time.
You know, you remind me, Steve, like, there's a saying, you know, the early bird gets the worm,
Right?
Yeah.
but the second mouse gets the cheese.
Right? That's what they say. That's what they say. Game.
Hold on. Whoa.
Game.
Y'all ain't heard that. That's something new under the sun. I don't know where you got that, but
That's old
say that
wisdom.
one more
The
time.
streets gave me
That's
that
old
one.
game.
The streets
Yeah.
gave me that one. That's for the streets.
He
Yeah.
said the early bird gets the worm,
Yeah.
but the second mouse gets the cheese.
Come on.
Yeah, sometimes it pays to be late.
It pays.
You show up and be like, oh, somebody just left this cheese here.
Right.
Oh, and apparently the person who left it is dead.
It must be my turn.
It must be my
mine.
turn. Yeah.
Sheesh. Man, so we were talking about liquid journeys and fasting, man. And
Oh, nice.
And also, my guy Energy is also in that realm as well. Talk about some of the fasts you've been on. How's your experience been with fasting?
Man, I've had various different forms of fast. I think my first experience into a fast was kind of involuntary in a way. I had been dancing and teetering on the fence of like vegetarian and like veganism, and maybe just due to my own lack of experience or knowledge or just like whatever the case may be. I say anyway, scratch all that. But I say all that to say like I made some eggs. And I'm led to believe either the eggs or my timing, whatever it was, caused me to be extremely sick. And in that like moment of being sick, I was like toward the fuck that I was on my knees, just like, oh my gosh, is there anything I can do? And for 7 days, the first 5 days, I couldn't even hold down water. So my stomach due to whatever level of extreme, whether it was just like a flu, stomach flu, or food poisoning, or whatever the degree of like bad eggs, whatever it could be, whatever that was, like I was down. And just like in this forced, fast, meditative, like, man, God, is there anything out there that I need to do or not do or recognize? And in that moment, I think I just had a lot of thoughts, around like my diet and my choices of food. And through that, those 7 days, there was like a weight and like elatedness and like something that actually felt invigorating outside of like most of the 4 to 5 days of discomfort, that led to like me seeing another side of it. And I was just like, oh shit. And I was just studying like fasting during this time. I was doing research and looking up other people who were, doing this years ago, on YouTube, talking about these very topics and just seeing like how they was navigating fasting and stuff like that. So my first fast, it was kind of like a forced introduction into it, to where I really could not hold down anything just due to whatever I had just ate, or it was just my time or whatever. But yeah, I like dived into various forms of eating practices after that, as far as like mono fasting, eating a particular type of fruit. People call me mango, so it's like,
yeah, that's how I met you, Mango. I still
Mango.
call you Mango.
Yeah, there's a time where I like a whole like 2 to 3 summers where I would just buy. I had to plug on every mango from here to Oxnard. Like from here, I knew every mango. Like that was my 3 for 1, 4 for 1 mangoes. Oh my god, because it's such a rare to find a mango for a quarter, and these are like ripe, juicy, sweet, just like the skin pulls off of them as you pick them up. And that was like my favorite. Just like, bro, I was just walking around into events, parties, friends' house with a couple of mangoes on me at all times. And I just built up like this habit and this, I guess this background and this practice culture of fruit fasting, and then juice fasting, and water fasting, and dry fasting, and just like playing around with all these different fasts. Me, Sunrise, and I fasted a couple of times together, to where we stretched it, up to like 20 plus days and even more. And yeah, I've had various fasts where they lasted up to like 70 days, I want to say, or maybe pushing around 70 days. Yeah, but I mean, even talking about it, I'm always thinking about like, yeah, fasting is such a cool practice of like a cocooning and a shedding.
Yeah,
it's such a cool like practice of like going within, and then realizing, oh shit, all these things that I had like desires for, or cravings for, or just like things that I let take over my emotional self, or like things that just take over my day, or like focus around like food and around like reacting. There was a whole new form, I guess, fuel, like as you guys have probably already talked about, like food is such a fuel, so it's like depending on the fuel that you're running on, it's kind of going to dictate like how your body runs, and like the motor runs, and shit like that. So you want to have like 87, or you want to have like high octane.
that 91 premium.
If it's unleaded, forget it.
Let it forget it.
Forget it.
Right now we electric with it, right? Now we electric, right?
Now we electric with it.
Okay, so man, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I probably just over talked a lot, but
nah, you good. The people need to hear it. Somebody was like, oh man, I felt it. I felt the gems dropping. But for the audience, just a disclaimer: everyone that you've seen here talk about fasting has been in practice of fasting for a couple years. So don't just think when you hear somebody say, oh, we did 20 days. Oh, we did 90 days. Oh, we did 70 days. Oh, somebody we know did 2 years. Don't just think we learned about fasting one day and then hopped right into 90 days. My first fast was like 7 hours. 7 hours. That was my limit. I was working out a lot. I'm pretty active. I was working out a lot. I was heavy on the meat, and right when I started fasting, around 7 hours, my body would be like, bro, what are you doing? Right. And like I said, now I've pushed it to 91, but that's within the span of 5 years of taking, oh, okay, now I can do 12 hours. Okay, now I can do a day. Okay, now I did 3 days. Wow. You know, you got to celebrate each win.
Each win, yeah.
Jerome, what were some fears that you've experienced, and how did you push through them? Because it's scary when you first start and you're growing through these experiences. Or did you feel any fears at all when you went through them?
You know, there was a level of discomfort because you're going through levels of detox. Mm-hmm. Just as Steven was saying, when we're shedding those layers, you know, peeling them back and releasing a lot of things, purging a lot of things, dealing with things on the emotional level, the physical level, of course, you know, with, you know, the parasitic environments that we may be host to that we have no idea. Shedding all those layers, but also the mental, you know, what we feel we need for sustenance, or what we feel we need that's necessary for survival. Because the mind, at the core, what I feel the mind is just looking out for survival. You know, it just wants to keep us alive.
Yeah.
So it's not really thinking, you know, all the other stuff like
about abundance and radiance. And like, you could be feeling way, way better if you just take your time. And
so, like you said, after that 7 hours, your body was, you know, your mind, your body, what are we doing here?
Right.
What's going on? Is there a problem?
The body's looking at the clock like, bro, what are you doing?
Problem?
We're usually knee deep in the meal right now.
Yeah. Like,
you know?
I feel like we all got an Osmosis Jones, you know, looking out for us. You ever seen that movie with Chris Rock? It was called Osmosis Jones.
It's funny. Literally, the last episode of Something New Under the Sun, we brought up this movie as well. Wow. Osmosis Jones, y'all. If y'all don't know by now, go watch Osmosis Jones. It's one of those classics from when we was kids. And you know, it taps in where it personifies the cells. You know, it gives you a perspective of life as a cell in your body. Chris Rock's in it's hilarious.
It's funny.
It's hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, we brought that up last episode with Sauce God and Perp 30.
Okay.
And yeah, we were slightly touching on the electric foods and stuff. But yeah, man, wow. So personally, when I was fasting, I found that, and this is extreme, you know, but you know, I'm a Scorpio, so sometimes we get into the extreme. I know, Jerome, Scorpio and the Scorpio gang here. Mango is Sagittarius, right? You Sag? Okay, fire. We right beside each other though. We right beside it. Yeah.
You hit your target.
There you go. All the time.
But yeah, like a lot of times when I first started fasting, some of my, like, your mind is, like you said, is looking for survival, right? So some of the fears that my mind would just repeat to me would be like, it would just be like a voice like, oh no, what are you doing? You need this. You might die. Right. You know, I'm like, why does the mind, and then it, like, after hearing cycles of those like things repeated in your mind from like obviously a place of you that's stemming from fear, it's like, why does the mind go to, like you said, why does the mind go to, I'm about to be extinct? You know what I mean? Like, I'm about to die. It's like, oh, you ain't ate. This is new. This is random. You heard that first little ache. You ain't had an ache like that ever. You know what I mean? And so I found that my mind would go to fear of like existence, you know? It would fear that I'm jeopardizing my existence by doing this practice. And some ways that helped me move through that was like educating myself. You know, we got the internet at our hands. You can look up YouTube, DuckDuckGo, Google, whatever, and just, you can have hands-on experiences from people who have done it. Like even this is a form of experience that we're documenting from 3 people who have fasted. So it's like, I found that knowledge and education helped alleviate fears. You know,
on all levels. You know, I definitely agree with you, because had it not been for a lot of the readings and a lot of the research that I started to undergo, for instance, you know, reading Hilton Hotema's Man's Higher Consciousness, that really leveled me up. Ray Mayor, he wrote a book called A Year Without Food. Elitam El-Amin talks about human photosynthesis 101, and it's okay to be healthy. Even Jasmine Heen, she's like the godmother of breatharianism. Shout out to Jasmine Heen. She wrote books like The Food of Gods. You know? So these books, these pranic books, they were kind of like nourishment for me to feed my mind and also plant seeds that this was possible.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna take a pause on that real quick because that may be a little tough for people to digest as well. So you said a word that I want to revisit: breatharianism.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So to a lot of people, they might say, "What's breatharianism? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean we're talking about fasting?"
Right.
Can you give me your take on breatharianism?
Okay, so the way I look at breatharianism, or like food freedom, many people have different, terminologies when they talk about it. I enjoy seeing it through pranic living.
Yeah.
So pranic living or breatharianism is kind of like, it comes from inedia, which is an ancient word which basically means to eat very little or not at all. And this is ancient.
Yeah, it's not new. It's ancient.
No, it's definitely not new.
It's
ancient. Even before we like had different forms of communication when it came to getting information out to people en masse. I mean, if you can imagine, and just imagine, if you can imagine our Paleolithic ancestors, people who were migrating from place to place, who had the body structure, the exercise, the strength, the conditioning to just go days without food. I mean, days, you know, they were migrating, they're moving, and they didn't have refrigerators.
Yeah,
they
no
didn't
refrigerators.
have, grocery stores.
No microwaves.
They didn't have pantries. They didn't have, freezers, all this stuff to store all this stuff. But yet, here we are.
Right.
How did we do that?
Right.
So we have the ability.
We have the ability
within us. Yeah.
Because it's possible.
Yeah.
Our predecessors were doing it. It was a normal thing to go a couple days without.
Yeah, I just wanted to add
Tap in.
to, add all to that. I feel like on an individual level, one of the things that can mentally, I guess, help you subside with wrestling with the ideal of whatever fast you're journeying into. I think one of the things that helped me was that it was a constant evident and reminder that a lot of our behaviors is based in some references that are not that healthy for us, and they have a lot of momentum. And it's like the moment that we are able to fast, we kind of get the unwound the momentum that's really wildly tight in a direction that's not maybe suitable for us. And a lot of the time is allowing that momentum to unwind, where in those moments we feel, uneasy and confused, possibly as oh, this is, correct. Am I going through a flight or flight? But as you move more around that, there's so many examples that are, revealed to you in your journey and your fast that continues to reassure you oh, I actually can do this. And this is something that's actually something, that's a real legitimate and constructive type of practice as far as, galvanizing my health to whatever that looks like. So I think it's just people getting used to what they are known to be a behavior that they frequent a lot, for them breaking those bonds with that, because with that becomes it's like a breakup. You breaking up with food. That's a tough breakup. That's an emotional thing. It's a relationship.
It is a relationship.
Sure.
It's for sure a relationship. And you notice how I notice when I'm on my solid food vacations, how it creates kind of a wrench in the room a lot. There's a lot of culture around eating. Like you said earlier, Jerome, there's a lot of time, a lot of planning, a lot of thought energy, a lot of digesting. It's like eating is not just the meal. It's thinking about what you want. A lot of us are indecisive. How many of us spend about 30 minutes? Now we got Postmates. So how many of us spend about 30, 40 minutes scrolling through Postmates?
Man, I
trying
had
to get
2 hours on Postmates once.
2 hours.
Going back and forth. You
2 hours.
You throw up an hour. You throw up 10 minutes. You're like, nah, I can't find that.
Yeah.
Come back again. I can't find nothing. I'll put this in the cart. No, I gotta chase for pizza. Really, next thing, it's been 2. You ain't even ate yet. You don't even know your appetite is still there. You just in the habit of eating.
You're in the habit of eating.
Yes.
That's what a lot of us are in the habit. Like, I found out when I first fasted, I experienced true hunger.
Okay.
Right? And I feel like a lot of us have forgotten what true hunger is. I feel like there's 2 hungers. There's like an addictive hunger.
Okay.
And then there's a true, like, natural, your body is calling out for energy hunger. And when I started fasting, it's like I had to break through that layer of addictive desire and addictive hunger, right? Because the addictive hunger is like, it's 4:00. You should be preparing a meal. It's about to be dinner time.
Right.
Regardless if you hungry or not. Regardless if you ate 2 meals that day already. It's like it's 4. It's time to eat. We might get a snack in between that.
Right.
Just because it's on momentum. And when you don't answer that hunger, it starts shooting a little pains. But you more so get cranky than like pain in the stomach. Now, I learned through fasting that will go away temporarily. You know, that whenever you break through that addictive hunger, it's like, oh, I'm hungry right now because I usually am eating at this time of the day. You should be eating and you just got the itch to eat. It's almost like a drug. Like, you got an itch to eat. You're not even hungry. Once you break through that quiets down. You let your stomach digest. Maybe you have a couple bowel movements and now you're really like in a fast, right? Because your stomach has released all the previous food. So now you're working with like just, you know, whatever energy you got left and you're generating. And I find that hunger that comes when you have no food in your stomach is different. It's a hunger that will make you get up. You know what I mean? Like a lion. You know, a lion is chilling until it's hungry. And then when it's hungry, it's like it's time to hunt. A lion is not overeating. It's not like eating every day. It's like, I'm going to chill because I'm full.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get up when it's time to hunt or procreate, you know? And I felt like that true hunger was the hunger that made me like, okay, I need to get up and actually go get food right now. Like, it was deeper than an emotional thing. It was like a bodily knowing. And I find that, a lot of people haven't experienced, at least in America, a lot of people haven't experienced, there are a lot of people who have, but a lot of us, if you have a phone, you probably haven't experienced true hunger. If you have a smartphone, you probably haven't experienced true hunger. And if you have, it's probably been a while, you know, because like, and I'm talking about hunger where, like you're saying, it's been days, you know, it's been a day or two. That hunger that hits on day 3, when it's your first time ever hitting day 3, you know, that hunger that's like, okay, that'll literally make you lock into your root, you know, that root energy. Like, I need to get some food for like survival type. And so I find that once we experience that true hunger, or we remember that experience, because I feel like everybody's had it, right? Maybe when we were babies, maybe when we were younger, maybe you did have it. Maybe some people are hungry right now. But when you experience that, it makes you a lot more mindful when you're not in the liquid journey. Because I'll say, since I've done, even before the 90 days, but since I've done the 90 days liquid, I always tell people like 95% of my eating is out of pleasure. Because I'm not hungry. Wow. Since that 90 days liquid, I thought I was never going to, first of all, I thought I was never going to eat solid food again. Like when I was on day 60, I'm like, I'm never eating solid food again. Like, why would I ever do that? Like, why would I ever, I'm never doing this again for the next 80, 100 years. I'm going to live till I'm 4,000 and I'm just going to be breathing. Like you said, photosynthesis. But you know, you get back into the habit sometimes. And so, yeah, I feel like since I've gotten back into it, it's literally just me choosing to eat based off the desire to taste and the desire to chew. After the tasting and chewing is done, I'm like, that was an experience. Now I want it out of my stomach, you know, because I wasn't really hungry in the first place, you know. And so I feel like it's important to fast so you can just start to be more mindful, you know, of how much we're eating, because we consume a lot. And by we, I just mean like mainstream us as a collective in America.
You make a great point, because I didn't even know the levels of consumption that I had gotten to. By all accounts, if you were to look at me, even though, I'm like 6'3", it didn't really look like I was packing it in. But I mean, I was eating to feed families. I was eating like whole rotisserie chickens by myself.
Oh man!
With the Parmesan garlic, the ranch dressing, the Texas Pete, the Louisiana, like lathering.
Texas Pete and Louisiana.
He need to be on that whatever you got show.
And with my hands, like medieval, I was gorging myself. Hot wings. You're kidding me. Come on. I was on the wall at Pluckers in Texas.
I'm at the wall.
I was on the wall of flame. They had me on the wall of flame for eating the most spiciest wings ever.
Oh, my God.
I had these wings called Devil's Breath.
Oh, my God.
No milk, 20-some wings, jalapeno flakes, habanero flakes with a ghost pepper base.
Oh, my gosh.
Eating wings like this is, what my inside?
Man, shit it out. C4.
Are you kidding me? You don't. This is not stuff that you enjoy. This stuff like you do it like somebody double dog dares you.
Somebody double
this
dog.
Call of Duty.
I double dog dare you. That's when you get that point. So I used to just eat. And when I went on that first solid food vacation, after 2 weeks of no solid food, matter was still coming out of my body. Solid matter. No solid food. 2 weeks, still solid matter. So
still releasing. So it was like, whoa,
how many bowel movements
We're actually backed up?
Yeah. So it's like, how long is my intestines? How long is this stuff inside here? How much storage do we have the capacity for?
Exactly.
And when I started asking myself those questions, and then like you're talking about, like, what is true hunger? What is hunger?
Yeah.
I started asking myself those questions. I was like, Neo, searching for the answers, like Morpheus Trinity, like I need to know.
Yeah.
And that was what broke the conditioning of, okay, what are these minerals? Well, what are these vitamins? Well, what is this nutrients? I'm still here. I'm still alive. They told me that I was supposed to be dead. So that started to contradict everything that we hear in society about, if you go without food for 5 days, you die. If you go without water for 3 days, you die.
Right.
But
people have gone without food for more than 5 days, and many people have gone without water for 3 days.
So it becomes your own experience,
Right. Yeah. Right. Wow. So yeah, that's another wild part about it. Are we getting we are about to get the Amber Alert again, but that's another wild part about it is how much. I don't think people realize how much backed up waste we have in our intestines.
We have no idea.
Like, our intestines are extremely long, and a lot of us eat 3 times a day, which is way more than necessary. And so we don't have that many bowel movements a day. And like I said, by we, I'm just talking about America as a whole, just on average, my average. Okay. And, so we don't realize how much we actually have backed up in our stomach. And then when we give ourselves this break, our body gets a chance, our cells, our stomach, our intestines gets a chance to do that back work. It's like you're in an office and you got a pile of files that you ain't done that you got to get finished, and
each time you put in a stack of papers in front of your secretary.
Right.
I need you to sort these. I need you to file these.
She even filed the papers from 4 months ago.
How am I going to get to all this?
Right. So it's like stepping out of your own way, giving your body a break.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you feel like your life has been better since you've been on a liquid journey? Are you currently liquid right now? How long have you been liquid?
So at the moment, over 2 months.
2 months.
Last year I did 9 months.
9 months.
But then I dipped and dived back in and out.
I know. I remember a cauliflower wing sprout. I remember.
It's never been a straight shot. It hasn't. The journey. We know the journey is not like this with anything. We go in, we go out. Sometimes it's like a spiral. And so I've gone in, I've gone out, I've gone up, I've gone down, I've gone back, I've gone forth. And it's all been something that's not only served me, but allowed me to be able to resonate, to be able to have compassion and empathy for the next person who is going through the same things.
Yeah.
You know, who is telling themselves, well, is this possible? Can I do this? And I know what it feels like to be on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I know about the guilt, the blame, and the shame game. You know, I know about all the lower frequencies that I found myself in where I was like, who are you? I didn't even know who I was anymore. And so to be able to come out of that frequency in, you know, and traverse your fear into another newfound freedom, that actually was transformational. So, yeah.
And how do you feel like fasting has affected you?
I think it gave me the keys. I mean, it affected me tremendously in a great way. I think it's given me the keys to whatever are the doors of being my own medicine man, you know, or being like my own doctor of like whatever that ancient knowledge of what the first people had. You know, I think what kind of, you know, what in my delusional fasted state, you know, in the best constructive way when I was first going through it over that egg shit that I had, because I've fasted many times in my own volition after that. But in that state, you know, comedically, you know, is how I kind of process things. And I was just sitting there thinking like, man, what was the first man like on the planet, you know? And if it was anything of a reflection of me, I just couldn't see myself chasing around other animals, because I would imagine that takes some convincing to do.
Yeah.
And like, I would just assume like there's so much food that is sitting still. Why would I need to go chase some that is running?
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine like whatever forces put people on the planet was like, all right, now that you here, you gotta go chase and kill all these other stuff that I made just in order to survive. And it just made me rethink like health totally. So yeah, fasting has changed my life in a major way. And if anything, I just want to hold to it even more closely as something as a practice, because I feel like I fell out. I've definitely understand what he's saying. I've backslide, you know, at the church of fasting.
We all done been in and out of there.
Backslide like a heathen. Yeah, but some of your friends gonna bring up the cauliflower wings when you didn't think they was gonna bring them up.
Because I remember during COVID, I remember you. I remember, but the backsliding, the slide in. Trust me, I've been.
It's just I mean, it's just desires, and like Sunrise and what you guys have both been saying, it's just like kind of like a habit and us curbing those habits and desires, because we see like through whatever that ceiling and those many doors are from all of us. Each time we break down another wall, we're so much better on the other side of that. You know, so it's just like being willing and being patient with yourself to like, you know, get through that other door, you know, because there's something there on the other side.
What Steven just said is so key about patience, you know. And specifically being patient with yourself, you know, being easy on yourself, being loving to yourself, and understanding when you do that to yourself, you know, you can do that for your health. You know what I mean? Like, not just your physical health, your emotional health, but your mental health. Because when I was beating up myself, when I was in that guilt and that shame and that blame of, okay, you've done a bad thing, or I am a bad person, those things caused me to go even further into the land of addiction, because it was like my own mental affliction. You know what I mean? So when you're able to have compassion for yourself and to say, you know what, it's okay. I accept myself the way I am now, right now, then that's kind of like the beginning. As they say in, Alcoholics Anonymous, you know, being able to have that level of acceptance in the beginning, just to admit that, okay, you know, there's something there that needs to be looked at. And then from there, everything else can stack on top. And then I think the 12th step was to be able to reach back and help another person. That the only reason you should look down on someone is if you're lifting them up. That part of the process is crucial to me, because if it weren't for me being involved with other people who are still on their journeys, as we all are on our own path, it's all our own journey.
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't also encourage me to keep going if it was all about me as well. So it's just been a twofold thing on all sides. Yeah.
Wow. This has been a great build. Let's take a quick reset. Let's take a deep breath as a tribe, in through the nose, out of the mouth, in 3, 2, 1. All right. You're watching Something New Under the Sun, live with Sunrise the Divine Energy, a.k.a. Steven Marcus Releford. And we got my man Jerome Shaw in the building. We have been building on liquid journeys, breatharianism, fasting, standard American diets. We've been building on so much. It's been so powerful. I appreciate you for really coming to the studio, sharing your experience and sharing your knowledge. Now for the people who watch this and they're like, wow, I'm inspired. I want to start fasting. You know, I want to get into it. I want to get to know more. What advice would you give to somebody who's looking to start to get into fasting and going on liquid journeys and solid food vacations, as we call it?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I feel, I mean, there are people of different schools of thought that will say different things like, oh, it's important to get the body clean first because the parasites might be tapping into your nervous system and, you know, making you do certain things. I'm of the school of thought that I feel like the mind is really crucial when it comes to all this, like subconscious reprogramming.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know that a program exists, you can't download it. Before I knew that breatharians, liquidarians, people who were living on less, before I knew that that was even possible, it wasn't possible for me. So as you said in the beginning, you know, in Jerome's realm of reality, you know, I had to break through my own barrier of belief that this was even a viable form of existence.
So you had to like change your mind and like become and move and become somebody different than before.
I had to move and groove with the way that I was at that time. And create new neural connections and pathways and new synaptic connections in my mind to say, okay, this exists.
Right.
And it's okay that this exists.
It is.
And it doesn't have to be like invalidating to my way of existence. Actually, this
to your identity.
Or to my identity.
Yeah.
This can inspire me. Because if one person can do it, so can I.
Yeah.
So that's the way that I spun it.
Yeah.
So that was how I began. So I tell the next person to do your research. If it's something that resonates, if it doesn't speak to you, you can leave it alone. But it's a tool. It's something that you can pick up or you can put it down. You know, it's not like you must do this.
It's not like religious or military.
No.
Yeah.
You know, this is just for if you feel that you have a calling, or if you feel that there's something within you that wants to learn more or wants to see if there's something else, you know, and you've been living a certain way for the majority, because we're professionals. We know how to eat. We're professional eaters. I'm a professional.
I know you told me with the sauce. I had a visual. You created
you know,
a
sauce
visual
God
with
just
the
left.
sauce
You know
guy.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did.
We're professionals.
Yeah.
So to be able to do the opposite, like you said, it'll be a practice, you know, and every practice is its own process. So progression, not perfection.
Progression, not perfection.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. Okay. Wow. My advice to the people would be, I like that. I like that progression, not perfection. I would say take your time. I'm the type of person that when I get new practices, sometimes I like to dive head on 1,000%, biting off more than I could chew, ironically, even though we're talking about fasting. But take your time with it. There's no rush. And my advice is be okay with becoming different, because you'll see it changes you It changes you. It changes the way you process things, changes the way you think. It makes you feel different. And unless you're with other people who are fasting as well, you know, or if you get a buddy, that would be another piece of advice. Get an accountability buddy if you're first starting. It's easier to do things together. That's one of the human superpowers. And yeah, man, just follow your heart. Like I agree with what Jerome said. Make sure that if you're doing it, you feel called to. Don't let your spiritual ego get in place and be like, no, I should because I'm so divine and I need to be and I'm blah, 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 blah. Like all of that is just like spirit ego. You feel me? Do it if you feel a calling and if you feel the need to detox, and do it if you've never done it before, at least once. You know. Any advice you would give?
Fall in love with a fruit that you like and be willing to start over. Just take it one day at a time. Really, that's it. Like, yeah, fall in love with a fruit that you like. Fucking learn it inside and out. Fucking enjoy all the different species and variations of it, and yeah, be willing to take it one day at a time. And learning the lesson of starting over is gonna be paramount.
Yeah, begin again. The universe hit me with that lesson about a couple different times this year. Hard. You got to be okay with beginning again, and so that's it on our build for fasting. Yo, something new under the sun. Before we get out of here, though, I wanted to shout out my main man Energy. Got a podcast popping right now. Y'all had to be here.
Yeah, y'all had to be here. Myself, Arthur Hamilton, Niles Absent, and Johnny Mack. We recorded right here at the Def Noodles Studio, which is also another show that I'm on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We live stream the Def Noodles Show. So yeah, check us out. Y'all have to be here in Def Noodles. And we'll also be in New York on the 26th at Union Hall doing some comedy there. So
okay,
yeah,
so New York on 26th.
And my Cash App is Mango11.
Hold on, the 26th of what?
August
26th. Okay, the episode gonna be out before then, so definitely get y'all tickets. Get y'all's tickets. August 26th.
Mango
And
Mafia
I will
11.
put your Cash App. I will put the Cash App in there. Tell them again.
Mango Mafia 11.
Okay, you want to tell them your Cash App, Jerome?
Okay, I do accept donations.
Okay.
I'm learning how to receive any blessings that come my way. Much love to everyone who's watching this. Much love to you on your journey. Thank you so much for tuning and tapping in. And yes, my Cash App is Jerome Shaw, same as my Instagram, JROMESHAW. Much love.
Yes, I'll put that up on the visual so they'll see it. I'll get a clip picture from you guys so you see it. Yes, send us money. These smoothies out here, they busting for her. Yeah.
I remember
the
when they
smoothies
passed.
is busting. You don't think because you're not eating, you're going to save money. Cause
No, you ain't.
These smoothies is 20 out here on the west side of LA. You know what I'm saying?
West side, yeah.
But yeah, one more thing outside. I'm getting, y'all, this is episode, what is it? Episode 4? Yes, episode 4. I'm still getting my momentum. Episode 4, we just started. I do want to give a big shout out to you because you got some books too. Tell the people where we can get your books. How many books do you got out right now?
5 at the moment.
Got 5 books. Jerome he's an author. He's got 5 books. Where can we find your books? Amazon.
So if you go to my Instagram, they should have some links for them, but also, so do you want me to just talk about a couple of them just briefly?
Yeah, give them a quick description.
Okay, so the last one, the most recent one I've written is called A Hunger for Freedom, How Fasting Can Lead to a Healthier Life. Right before that, it was The Pranic Path and How to Grow It from the Mind of a Poet. So, I enjoy
bars.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We get the bars from Sunrise, you know what I'm saying? So I was inspired to tap back into my poetry roots from back when I was in 6th grade, in English class and stuff. So I enjoyed just talking about the journey in a poetic way for someone with the right mind.
Yeah.
So that's more of the creative side. A Hunger for Freedom's more the left side. So those are just 2 of them. You can find both of those on my Instagram. The links are there in the bio for you.
Yes, tap in with those books. As you know, we've talked a lot about fasting and going on a solid food vacation. Jerome has actually written books about them. So, tap in. That's it. Something New Under the Sun, episode 4 in the books.
Yes.
Thank you, Jerome. I appreciate you.
Episode 4, we
Episode
on tour.
4, we on tour. Shout out to Energy in the building.
Yeah.
Shout out to Israel holding us down,
Israel,
holding
thank
us
you.
up.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
feel me? And shout out to myself and shout out to y'all. You know, shout out to everybody who's here watching this and viewing this. Thank you for sharing and reciprocating the energy. So it's your boy Sunrise the Divine. Until next time, something new under the sun, signing out.
Yeah.